What's up, everybody? Just getting things set up and we'll be ready to go. Sorry about that. Okay. Here. Alrighty, let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On this week's episode, we've got MLB Weekly Recap. We've got the NBA Finals wrap-up as it has officially ended last night with, and we'll get into Game 5, into what's happened between last week's episode and this week's episode, and more all coming up. Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 80 of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for all the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. Crazy to be saying that this is the 80th episode. It is crazy to be at this point. Crazy to have been able to do this many episodes, and hopefully, and getting closer and closer to an even bigger milestone. And just crazy, this whole journey. Before we get into this week's episode, so I've been kind of a bit helping out a minor league team, a part of the few last things I still have to do for Landers, with Jewish Heritage Day, and I want to be able to get out to people via my podcast, because that's where I'm going to be able to get out to a lot of people. For Staten Island Ferry Hawks, not this Wednesday, but a week from this Wednesday night, and I believe it's a 6:30 game, Wednesday, June 21st, is going to be Jewish Heritage Night for the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. It's going to have a lot of fun activities for kids. I believe there's even going to be base running. There's going to be a scavenger hunt, a whole bunch of other stuff. If you have the ability to go and you're in New York or going to be in New York or have the ability either way to get out to Staten Island, would definitely recommend it. It's very good and nice ballpark there, and a lot of stuff there in general to like entertain kids. Definitely recommend it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm helping them out. Like, I've actually gone to the ballpark and it is like very nice. The annoying part, I guess, is that it's a little bit far, depending on like where you live. For me, like it's a bit, but it can end up being very much worth it in the end if you're willing to go out. And a big part is they have connected with the Wagner College Holocaust Center, where for every ticket they sell, $3 of it is going towards the Wagner College Holocaust Center, which is very nice for them to do. They're also going to be having Hot Tikva, of course, before the game, along with the national anthem. And if you were a fan of Team Israel in the WEC, they have 2 Team Israel players on their roster. It's not a guarantee they're going to play, but it's possible you could get to see them play. One in being an Alex Katz, one in being Mickey Edelman. So if you have the ability to go out to Staten Island, definitely go. I think it should be a good event. I'm going to be there just because I've been somewhat helping them with this project. I'm going to post the link in chat at the moment. I'll probably end up posting on the community tab at some point later. But this is a link to buy tickets for the game, and they're like a minor league, they're independent league, so it's nothing's like, they're all very cheap, and tickets like $17 give or take for a ticket. So definitely recommend if you have the ability to go to definitely try to go next week, Wednesday. Either way, though, that's it for outside of what I want to talk about today. Also, if you haven't, I posted a YouTube short for immediate reaction to Game 5 of the NBA Finals last night. Check it out on the channel. below under YouTube Shorts. Anyways, let's talk about the NBA Finals. So we left off with Game 2, and well, Denver's won the last 3 games. And Denver is the NBA champions, winning Game 3, 109-94, winning Game 4, 108-95, which once they won Game 4, I was like, okay, this is over. Miami loses 2 at home in a row. It's one thing if, like, they would have lost the first 2 in Denver and grabbed one at home. Okay, you have a little bit of hope because it's not like you're coming off losing 2 at home on the road. But they at home, sorry. But they lost both games at home. And that just to me like sealed their fate in this series. And then Denver won Game 5, 94-89. And of course, Nikola Jokic is the NBA Finals and Bill Russell MVP, which is the first time the MVP's been given out in honor of Bill Russell since Bill Russell passed away recently. And something crazy, actually, shout out to my family members that pointed this out to me last night. If you know, whatever. But he's Serb. He is Serbian, and he's not the only Serbian to win a professional sports championship this week, as Novak Djokovic won the French Open in tennis. So, fittingly, 2 in a span of a week or so. So, interesting fact for Serbia. Good guess week for that country. But congrats to Denver. Well deserved. And it's kind of crazy to reflect back that, like, this is their first ever A appearance in the finals and B even winning it. Because, like, they've had a lot of good players in their franchise history. They have had Carmelo Anthony. They've had Allen Iverson together. They've had Melo and Phillips together. They've had so many other good talent, and yet this is their first NBA Finals appearance, let alone winning their first ever NBA championship in franchise history. But congrats to them. It's well deserved. There's nothing more I could say. And they definitely gave the MVP to the right player for the NBA Finals. Though really, the support cast was as much helpful for Denver in the finals, especially Contavious Caldwell-Pope or KCP, who had a pivotal steal that relatively set up the game field and shut. But also one of the big things that didn't help Miami was Butler had a chance to tie the game and missed a contested 3. Now, yes, it was definitely contested and someone was definitely on him, but he makes that 3. We might be talking about Game 6, not even game that Denver won Game 5 and won the series. We might be talking about Game 6. But yeah. But Miami, they had a heck of a season, becoming one of the few 8 seeds to A, beat a 1 seed, B, even make it to the finals. So definitely positives for them. But the rough part is they had one true good game where they won Game 2, and then really just the biggest problem for them in this series was their shooting. And it wasn't really one specific player. It was like their general team shooting just like hit a cliff in this NBA Finals. And also it was definitely there were definitely signs that you could tell that Miami really wished they had Tyler Hero for their series, who had been out since the Bucks series with I think it was broken hand. But either way, that it was definitely, you could definitely tell he was that they were definitely missing him. But at the end of the day, Denver's won the NBA Finals, and that's the NBA season for a while. The NBA draft is coming up. Not sure if I'm going to cover that or not. I might, maybe not. We'll see. But otherwise, I might just hold off on NBA again until we get back to playoffs again. But Denver's NBA champions. Nothing more to say. Congrats to them. And we'll see, I guess, what happens. But they definitely have the roster that could repeat. But actually, while I'm here, let me see. Denver. Curious to see this. I'm curious to look at who are their free agents for this upcoming season. Denver, or off season, I should say. It's free agents 2023. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. One name I have definitely seen is Bruce Brown, but I'm curious to see if there's anyone else who was like one of their support casts that helped them in the run. Yeah, Bruce Brown basically has a player option in his contract that would pay him $6.8 million for next season. If he declines, the former Heat star would be an unrestricted free agent. Ish Smith is an unrestricted free agent. Jeff Green is an unrestricted free agent. Thomas Bryant is an unrestricted free agent. DeAndre Jordan's an unrestricted free agent. Reggie Jackson's an unrestricted free agent. Colin Gillespie is a restricted free agent, and Jack White is a restricted free agent. So some names are big, some names aren't big. Sportcast or not for Denver. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. But they definitely have the roster on paper to be able to defend their title next year, but we'll see what happens. But that's it for the NBA Finals part. So let's get into MLB Weekly Recap. The big headlines from this week. Miami has gone off to had gone off to its second best start to a season through first 63 games in history, tied with 04 Marlins, and behind the 37-26 Marlins in 1997. I have no idea what. Let's see, what is it now? They're like 37-30, so I guess kind of close. I forget what it was at that time, but when they got over Kansas City over the time frame. Elly De La Cruz hit his first major league homer, 458 feet in a Reds 8-6 win over the Dodgers. He's definitely been hitting baseballs pretty hard and far. I haven't even looked at what he's been doing so far in MLB. But Reds are starting to get hot at the moment. We'll see if it changes things. But also another team starting to get red hot out of the blue is the Oakland A's, who at the current moment are on a 6-game win streak. We'll see if that actually leads to anything or if this is just like a fluke winning streak. Let's see. De La Cruz actually doing well. 296 with a homer and 4 RBIs. That's pretty good. See if he keeps it up. Either way, Jose Ramirez had a 3-homer game in the first 3 at-bats of a game, and first Guardian to do so, or / Indian, because technically he was Indian at the time of the last one, since Edwin Encarnacion on May 2nd, 2018 versus Texas Rangers. Andrew McCutchen on Sunday recorded his 2,000th career hit with a leadoff single on the third pitch of the game, or Pirates half of the first inning. JT Realmuto hit for the cycle yesterday, becoming the third this year, first Philly since David Bell on June 28th, 2004, and first catcher since George Gutierrez with the Milwaukee Brewers against the Houston Astros on September 3rd, 2011. And the funny part is, Philly even lost this game. So it's not like the cycle helped the Philly win. The cycle didn't do much because Philly lost 9-8 in the end, which is just kind of hilarious. But those are the main headlines from MLB this week. There's no really drastic changes to the standings. It's relatively still the same general. Royals are on a 7-game losing streak. And of course, the A's are on the 6-game win streak. And then, as terms of tonight's schedule, Braves at Tigers at 6:40, Blue Jays at Orioles at 7:05, Rockies at Red Sox at 7:10, Yankees and Mets, one of 2 games of a Subway Series this week between tonight and tomorrow, starting at 7:10, Brewers at Twins at 7:40, Giants at Cardinals at 7:45, Pirates at Cubs at 8:05, Angels at Rangers at 8:05, Reds at Royals at 8:10, Nationals at Astros at 8:10, Guardians at Padres at 9:40, Rays and A's at 9:40, Phillies and Diamondbacks at 9:40, Marlins and Mariners at 9:40, and then White Sox at Dodgers at 10:10. That is this week's episode of the podcast. Before I wrap things up, I do want to mention the first full week of July, the week of July 4th, I'm going to be doing a baseball trip, and I'm going to be doing other stuff on the trip, but I'm hitting my next new stadium, which is going to be the Minnesota Twins. I'm going to be actually partially with someone during the trip, part of it will be on my own. That week, I squeeze an episode Thursday, because I'm only going to be there through Wednesday. I'm going to be there probably like Sunday or so through Wednesday, because Thursday is a Jewish fast day, and the start of stretch where I try to avoid going to baseball games. So I'm trying to sneak in as many games as I can before then, and I'm probably going to go to a few before, including the Twins game, of course. But I'm going to be in Minnesota, probably going to be at the July 3rd game. So I guess if you're there, you can maybe try and find me, or if not. But I hope to probably at least try to make a vlog out of the trip, which I'm going to be doing other stuff aside from the Twins. I'm considering maybe doing a tour of Target Field where the Twins play, but probably won't. I'm trying to find if I can get a tour of Target Center, but even that's not so simple. And then definitely want to do Mall of America while I'm there, because this is going to be the first time I'm even in Minnesota at all. I've never been there in general. But we'll see what happens. But that's this week's episode of the podcast, so let's get things wrapped up. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On next week's episode, we'll have MLB Weekly Recap, and we'll have anything else that could pop up between now and next week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a notification bell, and notify when I go live and or post video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, and hit the notification bell and notify when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you in next week's episode 81. Bye-bye.